Welcome to a Muzzled Chat. Folks, I hope you're having a terrific day. Today's episode, we had a chat with none other than ADE from the UK, none other than the founder of We Are One. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, look at this, 63,000, almost 64,000 and growing. You just come here, click this follow button on Rumble or any other podcast he's at, and support this warrior showing up on all our behalfs, sharing a whole wealth of information. It's incredible what he's doing. So in today's episode, it wasn't meant to be an episode. This was a private chat between me and ADE. And just the natural conversation we were having ended up powerful enough that at the end I'm like, hey, you mind if I post this? And the feeling he was left with, I would like to post it as well. So here we go. Let's dive into the most unmuzzled chat there is. A real discussion that we didn't even plan on putting out for the masses. Can we all challenge ourselves to have these important discussions in our lives and rip off our own muzzles? Now, leading into today's episode, let's just go over some of the craziness that we're experiencing in the world today. What is going on with California and all these wildfires and all over the globe? I kind of want to keep it to this topic, but there's so much overwhelming information. And to look into the actual technology, laser equipment that exists, we really need to take a step back, do an honest assessment as to what in fact is going on. What is causing this? If we scroll down, this was very interesting. Laser program. Look at this. The blue isn't phased by this tool. I mean, a gun is a tool, depending on how it's used. This right here could be used as a weapon. Clearly, it's causing damage to things. But it's interesting how the blue is completely, what should we say? I mean, it's immune to this type of technology, right? And here we have Biden. Yeah, I mean, this went viral many times since he said the quiet part out loud, essentially stating, oh, have you seen, like, in the helicopter views, how the blue roofs, there was no damage? Come on, guys. He said the quiet part out loud. That in and of itself merits further investigation. There's more and more reports as to blue bins. I mean, there's all sorts of nefarious content and information, or could we even say red flags? The DEI hiring, individuals coming out and stepping out. Like, it's powerful. If you haven't followed a Muzzle Chat on X, come check us out. But this right here, oh my gosh. Can we take pause? I'm even going to cancel the sound. Let's do an honest assessment, folks. How do wildfires work? How do they work? How are homes and materials that aren't even combustible, that aren't even flammable, like try to go burn, do a bonfire and go burn a section of drywall. It's not flammable. As many other contents that a home consists of, brick, mortar, the steel from appliances to plumbing. How are these homes entirely flattened, yet all this vegetation stands? It doesn't add up. There's nothing conspiratorial about it. I don't know. I only know what I know. And this isn't a wildfire. There was some other level of weaponry used to flatten what is happening here in California. And it eerily mimics exactly what took place in Maui. And then it just brings to mind North Carolina, all these other things. Let's continue on the thought experiment. How? Look at the twigs, look at the branches, look at the trunk, look at all these, even dried up vegetation that didn't even get burnt, or the vast amount of green. Look at this horizon. How are the homes all flattened, yet this vegetation stands? It doesn't add up. And it's interesting. Too many of us are willing to take the talking point narratives, point the finger at the conspiracy theorists, and actually just sit and pause the footage and sit and wonder and ponder. What is happening here? What am I seeing? And as you scroll through this image, wow. I like the lower angles, but you could see all this vegetation. Homes entirely flattened. It's incredible, folks. I don't understand how people aren't essentially making an assessment and seeing that there's technologies that exist that are being used. There's more footage, alarming footage than this that actually shows the inside of these buildings where it was burning from the inside out. The outside of the building is completely unscathed, but there's fire happening inside. What is causing all of that? There weren't arsonists going into every one of these homes independently and independently burning them. So I like the flatter view because it's hard to pick up on all the vegetation from this overview. So just wait right there. Look at that, folks. Buildings entirely flattened. All this vegetation, all these branches, all these leaves. You could sit here and try to excuse it all away. Well, the moisture in the trees. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is a combustible material, even with the moisture more so, inflammable more so than drywall, brick, mortar, steel, plumbing, like copper pipes, the vehicles that are entirely flattened too. Vehicles that have never been torched. It's never been seen before. No independent vehicle fire would lead to the amount of damage to where alloy rims completely puddle, engine blocks puddle, and some are parked right next to an alive tree. It just doesn't make sense. Just sit on this image. Look at all that vegetation, all the destruction of all these homes. Folks, if we can't address the cognitive dissonance within ourselves and start demanding full transparency to this weaponry, who's to say soon to be coming to a city near you. I don't want it to get to that point. Can we do what we need to do to address this threat before that day comes? So this right here, similar. Let's pause. This is in Maui. The last video was California. And as we go through here, look at this. So some of the structure, flatten. You could see all the foundation. There was a building here. It's gone. You can't even see the rubble and the material down below. Any natural fire, you see all the debris. You barely see a home skeletal structure right here. But as we get closer to this tree, look. Okay, yeah, sure, there's some damage to it, but look at all these minor twigs. How did drywall, all that stuff go gone, completely disintegrate, and these little twigs survive? Heck, look on this side of the tree. All the vegetation is still there. How does this home get torched to the point that there's even any trunk left standing? We can continue in this footage. Yeah, some damage to this plant life. But if this was such an intense inferno or a natural fire, this would have been gone. We wouldn't see any of that. These vehicles, you can see the alloy wheels. This truck is entirely lowrider now. It's completely on the ground. Look, the wheel, everything here is non-existent. No vehicle fire has ever been reported to this extent of damage. Yes, there's additives. I get it. There's fuel. That's combustible. But we have video proof after video proof where a lot of vehicles that caught fire, shoot, there's still a quarter panel that has the original paint on it. You don't see the metal getting so hot that the bed of the truck caves on itself. The alloy wheels melt in the streets like a puddle of aluminum. You could see it here on these wheels. It's incredible. Right here. Totally flattened. Look at that. It's even total utter destruction on this vehicle, homes, everything. Look at this. A wood So now you can't even make the argument of, oh, it's all the moisture in that tree. Well, we know this pole is old and dead and dry. But all that foliage would be the first thing to go before a home disappears. That would be the first thing to go if this was a natural fire. And there's evidence, as we look here, there's evidence of actual brick and mortar that has been melted as well. Now, in this particular case, the chimney is left standing. There was a home attached to that, and it's gone, completely gone. Yes, there's some rubble here, but nowhere near, if we're being honest with ourselves, what would be left after a natural fire. And then you can see more vegetation. It's just incredible. Oh my gosh, all these little fine branches. It just, look, there's a vehicle there torched. Homes here torched. Guys, we're dealing with a level of weaponry. They have top secret clearances on, things of that nature. More on this futuristically, but at the point we can't address a cognitive dissonance, the elephant in the room regarding these things, well, more of this is going to take place. It's clear. There's nothing natural about this. And I'm excited because I actually have I don't know how much I could divulge here, but I recently was talking with an individual that has a level of clearance, but he signed NDAs regarding some of these they're part of the big five, just weaponry providers for military governments, one of those Lockheed Martin institutions, and he specifically is building out, and they're building out in his location, ground to satellite, straight up, has no reservations in telling me it's laser equipment that could pinpoint. It's essentially creating damage like this. I get it's hard to absorb. It's hard to come to terms with that level of not just weaponry, but that level of secrecy. How are things so sinister? Why are they keeping this from the people? Well, those are valid questions. They're worth pondering. But that's enough on this. And the discussion I have with ADE is just awesome. What can we do to take action within our realm, be realistic instead of wishful thinking, achieve more so a level of being practical with ourselves and addressing some of these great threats? I love y'all. The whole intention behind this is just to create enough awareness. Simply, things aren't adding up. We must demand transparency. We must get to the bottom of these things, because I don't want to see any more needless suffering to this magnitude. And they're only ramping it up. So ignorance at this point isn't going to do us any good. Let's go ahead and dive into the conversation with ADE. I hope you enjoy it. God bless you. Can't wait till next time. You just get it. And I'm not going to kick off any intro or nothing, because
we're not expecting nothing from this. It's just,
this is a sound bits, whatever. But that's what's so beautiful every time we interact, ADE, is because, like, oh, you just have such a big heart, and we just want to hone in on what we could do, being realistic, what impact we can have. Share the information as to what we see being done, and then share all that optimism as to the good things we're seeing. And I guess to that note, we will see with this new administration here really quickly as to how impactful they're going to be pretty much out the gate. I'm crossing my fingers hoping they come out swinging.
The way it sounds is this is a giant can opener. The way that they've shoehorned RFK into the administration. It wasn't slippery. It was very clever. The way that RFK switched from Democrat over to Republican.
Yes.
Midway through, because militarily, if you're going to attack the dark side, you got to play your chess moves really cleverly. So RFK switching from Democrat to Republican, and then having this shoehorned into the health industry the administration rather, to clean up the health industry. I think it's a fantastic move, a great strategic move.
I agree. It was so tastefully done
that
you had literally people following RFK that were never Trumpers, but they solely followed RFK's lead to their benefit. And now their eyes are being opened and they're like, ooh. I mean, it's so much bigger than even, Democrat and Republican. It's so much
massive.
Bigger than that.
It's massive. The implications are staggering. I mean, once you topple the first domino,
right,
the rest of the dominoes will fall into place, like the fluoridation of the water supply,
yes,
which I've been going on about for 35 years with my ex-partners, etc. Oh, shut up, Adrian. They wouldn't put that in your toothpaste. Shut up, Adrian. They wouldn't put that in the water. Oh, yeah. Anyway, 35 years later, they're now seeing it on TV, and it's kind of like slapping them in the face. So maybe that Adrian wasn't a bit weird after all. But it's not about me. It's about we. And this movement, the MAGA movement, which I get a lot of hate mail from. I'm called a magatard because I want the truth, because I want clean water, because I want clean food, because I don't want pedos on the streets, because I don't want hatred in our communities, because I don't want the judicial system.
Speak to the ones that have ears to hear. I just had a back and forth with a gentleman this morning regarding the sprays, and just because he got his private pilot license, it's like he knows that. And it's like, hey brother, like here's credible sources. The fact like legislation's being put in. The thing is, he just wanted to pick out triggering words that I put in there, and dismiss everything else. It's just that the cognitive function just isn't there. So we got to quickly shift gears and realize, okay, I'm just burning my tires with this individual. I need to focus on the ones that have ears to hear. There's a lot of that. My heart even goes out to that individual on how effective the war tactics have become, because he's not even himself, right? That's not a normal functioning place to be when someone's actually putting forth the effort, touching on some very key points. It's like, fella, you just skipped over, how would this legislation be already in place in Tennessee and 11 other states are following suit if it wasn't a thing? Like that should merit, that should merit enough credibility for any, let's say, brainiac, scientist, pilot alike to at least be like, this merits further investigation.
Like a police officer would.
Exactly.
If the clues are pointing in that direction, something's got to give you the inclination that, something might be amiss.
Yes. So to that point, for a while now, Ade, I was sitting here. I had a realization. I mean, it's just gifted. I don't mean to talk about, I don't like saying I, me, my, but that's all we really have is our story. But I don't want to come from a place of pedestaling. So a lot of this information, you could probably agree, it's just gifted to us. It's not like I'm
a guru in any way.
Well, it's not like I don't want to come from a place of being an expert. I don't want to come because I don't want to turn people off like I'm pedestaling, like I'm smarter than you, neener. I don't know. More from a humble place. But anyway, I've been looking at everything, and this whole experiment, it's all come full circle. The main driving force was the Lyme disease, my own health, and kicking off the podcast, giving a voice to the voiceless. That was a whole idea, but then also dive into a lot of the politics, things like that. And over this last year, experiencing the whole spectrum of topics, right? I've realized, I thought it was kind of an experiment, kind of like your channel, but for whatever reason, with my interjection, it hasn't been tracking. So I'm just being realistic with myself and touching on those topics. It was a good experiment. It was fun. But I wasn't picking that much momentum up along the way. So I'm circling back. I'm like, well, what is it? What is it that's causing, let's say, that barrier from people being thirsty for all of this? And it all boils back down to our health. So I view health now as the key, the solution we so desperately need, that if we take care of that aspect, then people are going to have the bandwidth, let's say the security within their own mind, body, to where they have that resilience, that extra bandwidth to consider topics like this when it gets brought up to them by people they love, versus because, for example, like I've witnessed loved ones where they agree on 95%. on things, but they start discussing that 5%, and it's not a loving conversation anymore. They're at each other's throats. I'm like, fellas, you A, love each other, B, your family, you're not going anywhere, and you want to rip into each other over 5%. This isn't even natural. This isn't making sense. And it's not a short little bout of a fight. It's like a fight where they both have their excuse themselves, and they don't talk for a year. I'm like, what is that? I'm like, both y'all's health is deteriorated to where, like, this isn't even rational or reasonable outcome. So that's where I'm like, man, what could we do? We could hone in on, molds, metals in the body, parasites, hormonal balances, nutritional balances. That all will help. But also, what I've realized, Aid, with Lyme, I can only move the needle so far, it seems, with my health. Why? Because there's active current attacks where our atmospheres are so toxic. I feel like that's what's capping me. So my personal health is even hinging on the masses waking up and putting bans in place. And then so I started an personal assessment, and you could tell me if you feel there's even a more direct path to one of the other attacks, whether it's pharmaceutical, whether it's food, whether it's water, all these other aspects, whether it's frequency. Wow. But in my eyes, the quickest, easiest one to address is the chemtrail spray, because there's already states that have passed in lots of states. So I'm like, and all that takes is pen to paper. All it takes is pen to paper. And
a lot of people don't know how to do it. This is why I find this tool so fascinating, because if you've got a tool at your disposal that's accessible to everybody and it's on their PC, it's one surefire way of being able to log and track what's happening in your neighborhood. So that's why I found so fascinating about the tool, because the government can't track. Well, they can track everything. They've got NSA to track everything, but they're not going to go out of their way to monitor all of the planes that spray in. That's down to individual households. And so this tool I think is really, really fascinating. I've been thinking about it now for about 4 or 5 days.
Awesome.
How can it best be used? And this was the best way I could think of, if we did some kind of features and benefits of the tool kind of thing.
I'll be excited to dive into that tool here shortly. We definitely will. And, just to share a thought that I was like, just trying, because prior to coming across this tool, I kind of had a realization of, why are people not doing this? Why are we not? And then I got humbled. I realized, you know what? With all the DEI getting walked back, with all the mega corporations, everyone that went woke was going broke. You could look at, Bud Light, Lowe's, Tractor Supply, John Deere. I mean, the list is endless. Even McDonald's.
Washington Post has gone from 90% down to 22%.
Wow.
I think they've lost 90% of their viewership.
So you know what this tells me, Aid, when I make an assessment, we are taking action on these things. We are reaching out to, that was very ignorant of me to say we're not reaching out to our state representatives and all these individuals in power positions. We are. But if you think about it, all the major corporations, we directly impact their bottom line.
Yeah.
So they respond to that quickly. Unlike our selected or elected officials, they take from the people no matter what. So they're not answering to the people. So it's like, as individuals are reaching out just like the DEI, but we cannot impact their bottom line unless we get organized more effectively. That's the missing link. We're not, because if we independently reach out, they can understand that, and they're like, if it's not an organization and it's getting proper attention, things of that nature, a missing link, then they can sweep it under the rug effectively, because they won't even share with us as far as how many people are trying to have their grievances addressed. Get what I'm saying? Then I started thinking, I was like, we need a web page that A, makes it easier for people, but B, most importantly, fulfills this link where there's an accounting taking place for every individual that's sending it out. They're gathering the data on, hey, even if it's a clicker, minimally, we have 1,000 individuals in this state, maybe 100,000 individuals in this state, maybe 1 million people in this state sending it out. Now it gives them the information to go to news. It gives them information to go to the sheriffs. It gives them the data to even give to the legal hounds and law firms, which may, if you have amassed enough data, they may take a class action lawsuit like this pro bono with that evidence, data.
Yeah.
But without that link, what do you have? You know what I'm saying?
Hearsay and speculation, isn't it? Yeah.
Right. So with that, I'll pull up this screen. Now, I believe they're doing the data, and there is one more step of potential vetting. I need to reach out to the people that have created this and verify because since it's going through their webpage, I would assume they structured it this way to accumulate that missing link that I just was talking about. Very and that's why I feel this is more powerful than independently reaching out. I mean, you could do both if you feel so inspired as an individual, but it is crucial to do this if in fact they're collecting that data. I would assume, and I shouldn't assume, that they are, and there is another assumption here that they are the good guys. I venture to say they have to be, considering the sheer information they're providing on their webpage, like in the documentaries. They are the good guys. The whole intent behind this is to put a stop to it. So it would be surprising if they ended up corrupted, and let's say they want people's personal emails to target them more, right? Like, so there's a little bit of vetting, I feel, where it would gain some clarity. I should even have
to be honest, I didn't even think about that, you know.
Right.
Some sites are nefarious in nature, aren't they? And that's one thing I didn't even think about. Did you receive my email that I sent you earlier about the Patriot Finder? There's an app called Patriot Finder. I emailed it to you earlier today.
I'll pull it up. Oh, that's not it. ADE.
Because this could be, if we find the right patriots, this could be a useful tool for those patriots that you find in Patriot Finder.
You sent it today, huh?
Yeah, let me have a look at my emails, see what time.
Oh, you sent an email.
Yeah, Proton Mail. And
there it is.
You got it. Sweet.
Patriot Finder. Yeah, I'd like to scroll through this too.
Yeah, at your leisure.
Okay. That's really cool.
If you find any patriots in your area, then send them an email for that website, the spray tracker.
Yes. Yeah, let me go back. I should even have you walk through versus me, but so yeah, I did the generic instructions right here, and this is an amazing tool because when you come in, you can select your specific state, or you could select different countries. So they're collecting the data all around. So for you could click the UK, and all right, Britain's for a clean atmosphere. Let's see what shows up here. Britain's for a clean. Let's see if they have submit. Perfect. So submit this.
This reminded me of, I used to work with a guy that was an airline pilot. It's funny you mentioned the story earlier. Okay. When I was talking about chemtrails and contrails, I said there's a difference between chemtrails and contrails. Oh, shut up, Adrian. I used to be a pilot at Manston Airport. I said, look, I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you that you used to be a pilot. I've never been a pilot, but my eyes tell me that contrails are completely different than chemtrails.
Yes.
And I left him with that. And ever since then, he's avoided any kind of conversation with me. But recently, Facebook has been plastered with chemtrails.
Yes.
And I've been watching him getting into arguments with these with these people. Even years later, his own eyes are not able to compute. But anyway, these are his problems.
It's it's interesting to ponder. What is the hiccup? Is it more effective to address that man's health than speak words and share information with?
Like you said, cognitive dissonance is a significant hurdle when dealing with this great awakening that we are all having to walk through together.
Yes.
So
cognitive dissonance, challenging a core belief.
Like my younger brother, I've got two younger twin brothers. I live with one, and the other one lives up in Scotland. He went to church. He's been in the church now for 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
And he's a strong, devout Christian, and I love him to bits for his strong, devout beliefs. Anyway, I've got my beliefs and I don't believe in religion, but I do believe in a God. I'm very spiritual in that respect. And I talk about aliens. I do believe that there are creatures on this planet that share the same frequency as we do, but we can't see them because we've been programmed not to see them. Yeah. And the bells have stopped being used, so we can't see them anymore. The bells used to ring a certain frequency, and you could see these beings all over the place, allegedly. So I've got this belief that there's so much knowledge being hidden or suppressed from we human beings that it's easier for me to have a wide open mind when it comes to possibilities. Whereas my brother, who's now a devout Christian, he won't talk to me at all because of my questioning everything. I question everything. I question Jesus. I question God. I question religion. And because I'm so strict in my lack of beliefs, he finds it really, really difficult that I am so... Adrian, you need to be locked up in a mental institution with your beliefs, the way that you're going on. I really hope you can come to Christ, come meet Christ and find Christ. And listen, brother, I love you to bits. I went to church years ago. It's the reason why I question everything now. But look, I respect your views and I respect your path. Please respect mine. Keep it like that.
Bro, see, that's beautiful. That's beautiful because when you really, like, I can see the intent with your interaction, and the intent really more so, it's the blinder's view. I mean, it's beautiful. I'm glad your brother, because through Christ, he could break through the box. Like that's ultimately, that resonates with me. So he's on a great path, and in his own time, everyone's path is uniquely different, and it's fun. Like, this is what's crazy. How is it through Hollywood we will, with lack of evidence, and some would say the opposite, but with the whole narrative of the green Martian alien, right? We as a populace don't have a problem having conversation and consideration and just, ponder and wonder over that. But for whatever reason, over these other things that you are bringing to the table, it's like not up for consideration, wonder, and ponder. Like, why is that? Like, there's a level of programming. The only explanation is there's a level of programming that has taken place that's keeping people more so in a box with certain topics than setting yourself free and considering. And it doesn't matter. Like, you bring up the bells, whether the frequencies allowed like this almost visual this or that. But I do believe, to your point of information being so swept under the rug, manipulated, controlled, that there clearly was a benefit, one degree or another. And I love the ponder and wonder of what you brought up as to, could that be? Well, we wouldn't know unless we really gained transparency or started trying these like things again.
Exploring,
And it could just be those frequencies that they put off might even just be ramping up the neurological function to an extent where we're just naturally healing our bodies. Like, it could be so many other things, but that's where the sheer wonder.
There's a reason why the Tibetans and so many cultures around the world use bells. Because of the frequencies, and the cymatics in all of the churches, the windows. Show you cymatic patterns of sounds. Churches and those types of buildings were healing centers. From my learning.
Stained glass windows magnify those frequencies with the organs.
There you go. The pipes would deliver a sound, a frequency, and they were healing centers. That's where the whole community would go in and sing and heal themselves in these huge Tartarian buildings. Cool. But
Yes.
yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited. We're at a junction now where shit's about to happen.
Yes. Well, this is where it's fun. Trying to master the art of communication, like with your brother, because at the end of the day, it's like, hey, I value the relation over any of our beliefs. And why would we, like, so to get to brass tacks, why would we allow any of our beliefs to come between our brotherly love?
Yeah.
You know, and the quicker, if we get on a topic where you start feeling angst, why is men, we're not good at communicating? Hey, brother, I'm just feeling angst all of a sudden. I want to shut this conversation down. Where's that coming from?
Yeah.
And then shift the conversation on that. Now you're breaking potential generational curses. Now you're actually breaking through, but it's so difficult to master the art of communication. And I've sat steering back to the chemtrail spray, let's say to your pilot friend also, it's one of those things that, hey man, like try approaching it from all these different angles, and more than likely you might come up with a whole other, let's say, line of thought that becomes more effective than what I've started trying, where it's like, hey, if you believe in contrails, like, great, let's just stick with your belief. I don't even want to challenge that right now.
Yeah.
Let's say it is contrails. What is not debatable is these contrails impact on the sky that it's having. Meaning, so let's just have a thought process here where if, let's imagine some people wanted to have similar outputs on their vehicles, for example. Well, we have a level of smog and emission control down here on the earth level, right? That is, we wouldn't accept that, because if you were emitting even a quarter of what these jets are, you would cause accidents. You know, you'd get pulled over, receive citation. Like, that wouldn't be acceptable.
Exactly.
So why? So irregardless whether it's spray or a contrail, like you say, why don't we have the proper emission controls to minimize the impact? Because it's clear that in certain settings, certain days, it blankets the whole sky. Why are we?
Transparency is what we need from these companies.
Yeah.
If you're going to be spraying a lattice of filth all over the sky, we need transparency. What is that lattice, and what is its purpose, and what benefit does it have for we the people? And if you can come up with those three answers, then yeah, we'll let you carry on poisoning the skies. But in the meantime, you're all under arrest. Now we're going to seize all your assets, and we're going to whack you all in prison because it's crimes against humanity. If you're purposely poisoning the sky, you've got an intent to kill humanity there. So there's crimes against humanity. The company needs to be, shut down, assets seized, and all of the funds go to we the people. This is what's been happening in the Great Awakening over the last few years. Companies like Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, they've all been taken over. Google's been taken over as well by the White Hats, the Space Force, which is a good thing. Because, what is it? Google have been found guilty of interfering with the United States presidential election 2020. So Google's been found guilty on that one. So Space Force are going to take over the assets of Google, change it, SEO, search engine optimization, so that people will be found again instead of being suppressed again. Their websites are being pushed to the back or to the bottom because they don't want Google are able to push my website from page one, number one. I used to spend months on getting my clients' websites to rank number one in Google. It'd take about a year for me to do it. And a few £1,000 later, maybe 10,000 quid later, the company would have their website ranked on page one of Google for lots of different search terms. Then Google decided to change their rules midway through everything. So about 20 of my clients, all of their websites got delisted purely because Google changed the ruling halfway through. So I stopped doing search engine optimization for clients because Google were being criminal with our livelihoods, not just with search engine results when people are searching for stuff, but it had an impact on the business as well. So if you've got your business listed on Google and you're ranked on page one of Google for certain search terms, and then Google changed their mind and changed the algorithm for no reason, no fault of your own, your website's now delisted. You're on page 32 instead of page 1. So you've got to spend another £5,000 or £10,000 to get another SEO dude like me to get you ranked on page 1 of Google again. So all of this is being cancelled by the white hats, the good guys, Space Force, I believe.
Wow.
Well, TikTok's next as well. TikTok, we've already got Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We've got Google. We're getting via Space Force, and TikTok's so huge next on the list. Anything that's suppressed free speech, or manipulated results in the Google searches, they've all had their assets stolen by the good guys.
Wow. Well, to vet this source, it's pretty cool. I clicked through. There's this BFACA, Britons for a Clean Atmosphere. Join us, and you can independently reach out. So if you have direct
I'm going to do this, actually,
The thing is, they would take, and you could do it here or on this one, or now you're just reaching out to them. I shot you this email. Yeah. But if I back out of this, so this was the zero engineering. All I did was come here, take action, UK. And there's a lot of cool data in here. On this one, I clicked this link, and that's where it brought me here to this Britain dedicated web page. And I ended up on this, join us here. On the join us here, that's where it brought up this info. So now this provides vetting. This potentially could lead you to more keen solutions for your area, but also potentially amazing content to share on your platform, or have individuals, if you're interested, on the platform, experts more so, to discuss these type of things. So I close that window again just so we can gain confidence and clickability going through this. So zeroengineering.com, you could just have people come here, go to the UK.
I've got that Take Action UK suite.
Yeah, all of it's. So if you scroll down right here, this is really cool. Send your MP this letter. Dear MP. And what it does is it auto-populates. If you even scroll below that letter, you see.
To find your MP, and then postcode. Charlie Tango 91 Quebec X-ray.
Well, what's cool, Aid, if you scroll down below, if their letter that they send out, and it looks like they changed the verbiage for you. So they've already done the research, even regionally, nationally. It's crazy. So if you scroll down, it says fill out this form. All you technically need to do is put your name, email, your postal code, which is important because your postal code will tell them what region it needs to go to, and then you can add your additional comments, and then boom. And this, I believe, is giving them that missing link of not just being able to take action, but collecting the data. But I want to read the form for you because right here it's stating in parentheses, our system will insert the MP name for your postal code. That's awesome. This message is regarding the need to protect the people and nature from polluting atmosphere experimentation. Like most Britons, I do not consent to solar radiation modification, SRM. So whether it's happening or not, it's important we put the bans in place to stop it from happening, full stop.
In the southeast where I live, I don't know whether you remember the conversation you and I had when we first met a couple of years ago. When I used to go to the gym, I used to start in the gym. The gym was opposite my house, so it only took me about 30 seconds to get from my house to the gym.
Yes.
And I'd be one of the first people in the gym at 6:30 in the morning. And I'd be on my stepping machine for my cardio. I'll be on my stepping machine looking out the window, and I'd see 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, 19, 20, 23, 30 odd planes flying past the window, leaving tracks over the sky. And I can watch those lines dissipate into this film of lattice. So it's really prevalent in the southeast, from France to the southeast of England. Yeah, they're doing major shit.
That is alarming because I'm seeing it here too, Aid. And they've ramped this up more recently than ever before. So let me be definitively clear with you, since you're in the know. I 100% like you know it's happening. I know with the aluminum, barium, strontium, nanoplastics, all these particles, it is damning to all life on Earth, plant life, human life, animal life. And it's just it's literally a war tactic. So I'm completely in the know. When I say as I'm reading this, whether it's happening or not is irrelevant. I'm now catering a shift of mindset to practice, let's say, speaking to individuals that aren't in the know. And that's where the whole communication on, someone, let's say, that didn't believe that they believed the contrail lie, right? Yeah. Then to talk to them in their terms, what they do understand. Okay, let's just stick with contrail. Let's just say, but what you can't ignore is the impact it's having. Well, why do we have emission and smog, standards? We have standards here with our vehicles. Why is the standard not there? That could be a more digestible potential, let's say, way of communicating for those individuals to be like, you know what? You are speaking truth. Why wouldn't we, if they're not doing it, why wouldn't we put the bans to make sure, just in case it's harmful? Yeah, let's put $1 million fine per occurrence and a felony charge, things to that nature. That's not going to hurt anybody. Yeah. So now it actually gets them. It almost becomes irrelevant whether they wake up or not if they're willing to take this action. But if they see it as conspiratorial, like we're trying to force feed them something they haven't done the research on, like our pilot situation, it could be years. It could be years where they're a part of the problem, not a part of the solution. That's where I'm like, it's irrelevant whether I really wake them up. If I could just get them on board with, let's say, emission controls for our jets and bans in place, that's the win. Because I need this. I'm hitting a ceiling with even my healing. So how do I communicate to get people to take this action no matter where they're at? That's kind of where. So, it continues interventions or any other polluting atmospheric experimentation, SRM. That's so even this is just for someone, let's say, on a contrail belief. This is just okay. Yeah. Like, why wouldn't we put this in place? And I can get on board with sending this letter. SRMs involve releasing pollutions into the atmosphere and the environment. The June 2023 White House report. So it has a White House report for you guys that you could even click in. Okay, this might be ours. I don't know. Yeah, this is ours.
Yeah.
But irregardless, what it shows in here, ADE,
It will transcend nations. This information will transcend nations because if one nation's taking it seriously, why shouldn't we? Kind of.
And what that link right there does is it creates credibility.
I saw a mention of Satan back then.
What's that?
Because I just saw Satan's name there. That where you are, there, Satan.
Wow. Well, let's get to that.
What's that all about? An example of such atmospheric experiment in the...
Yeah, that's not part of the one I've sent, but that'll be...
Or Satan experiment documented here. Interesting.
Well, click that.
I'm going to have to look at that.
Right. Yeah, it didn't use that verbiage in the one I sent, so let's take a look.
Why would you be using the word Satan in your documentation? I can look at that later, but I found that very interesting.
Oh, right here. This is it. Satan. Stratospheric, aerosol, transport, and nucleation. Or Satan. Interesting.
It's like what's that? Telescope in Italy, the Vatican, called Lucy.
Right.
It was originally called Lucifer, but then they changed the name to Lucy when they got lots of complaints from the Catholic Church. Why have you called your telescope Lucifer? I'm a bit confused. Oh yeah, that was a misprint. We're going to change that to Lucy.
Right. Congressionally mandated research plan and initial research governance framework related to solar radiation modification, described funding. It's all in that White House report. Funding, international coordination, and unknown adverse global impacts of SRM, such as more frequent participation events, harm to biodiversity, flood, and droughts. And so in the White House report, it states all of that. So it's actually bringing credibility to why we're taking this action, because even the White House report has reported on it. So there's nothing conspiratorial about what we're trying to have these people look into.
Exactly. And I think this is a fantastic tool. Just needs to, kick people up the arse to use it on a regular basis.
Of such atmospheric. So this is more exclusive to the UK right here, the Satan. It lists right here: stratospheric aerosol transport and nucleation. That's verbiage that the organizations in the UK are more so having, because this little paragraph wasn't a part of the one I sent.
I mean, that in itself, why would a responsible organization come up with the title of Satan?
Yes.
for their geoengineering? There's something sinister there, just in the name in itself. So that grabbed my attention.
Additionally, the 2024 Advanced Research and Invention Agency ARIA report, and the report's right here, including options for actively controlling Earth and discussing field trials and polluting atmosphere inventions.
These fucking people are so stupid.
Right.
You can't fuck with nature. Mother Nature has had this in control for thousands of years. Why the fuck do you think that because you've got some money behind you, you've got some money in your pockets, why do you think that you can manipulate the world and treat yourself like you're God? And who the fuck do you think you are, you dirty bastards? I wish I could.
Here's another one. I don't know why they didn't have this paragraph in mind, because it's bringing more legitimate. Mexico has banned geoengineering. So that's cool. I'll have to, it looks like it might all be in Spanish. Yep. But that would be cool.
There's translation on there.
But then to bring credibility, I like how they talked about the Tennessee banning engineering in the U.S. because that's also bringing, legitimizing that legislation.
It's checkable, isn't it?
Right there.
And you've got the bill there as well.
Oh, yeah.
So they don't have to go far to check it.
No, it's everything you need. So for anyone with a rational brain, whether they believe in this or not, they would probably go through this and be like, well, why wouldn't we take this action? Nonetheless, even as a precautionary preventative, but we know it's being done. So the sense of urgency is that much more. So it's just to put the proper bans in place. So
I'm going to be testing this tool out on quite a regular basis because, like I say, I live in the southeast of Kent in the UK, and we get it really bad because, like I say, from France to where I live, the southeast of Kent, all the way to London, Heathrow. That's where the trails, the contrails are, chemtrails are. From France, over my house, all the way to London, Heathrow, and then back again. It's just got this lattice of smoke all over the place, back and forth between where I live and London. It's hideous.
Wow, brother.
So come midday, you've got, a cloudy sky and a dimmed sun. Have you seen the video on my channel? The dimming.
Yes.
It's about an hour and a half long.
Yeah. That's on Geoengineering Watch.
Yeah.
I just that's the most recent documentary I went through on my podcast, and I ended up very disheartened. Here it is, right?
The dimming, got it.
Yeah, I got very disheartened with the lack of engagement. People were showing up and dropping off, and I'm like, how are you dismissing it? We got all the experts, all the information you need right here. So I ended up so disheartened in that stream because it's not like, and I've even voiced this recently, where it's not so much. I'm not having a hard time coming to terms with the lengths evil is willing to go to, aka these war tactics and its deployment. That isn't what's disheartening to me. It's the lack and the sheer ignorance, the lack of action, that the ones are being poisoned are they're not even like the fluoride stare. Like
I think I put that down to apathy. I think over years and years and years of being dumbed down and told bullshit by the TV and social media and newspapers and the radio and this, that, and the other. Over time, the human psyche becomes pissed off. I don't want to listen to it anymore, Adrian. I'm bored with it. I'm sick of it. I don't want to. So no matter how much proof or evidence you put in front of them, they still don't want to look at it, still don't want to see it, still don't want to read it, still don't want to hear it. Right. So it's just one of the. I think that's down to apathy. We've been programmed over many, many years, over the last 30 plus years,
right,
to behave a certain way and to not think a certain way as well. We've been programmed to be this apathetic, I believe.
Well, I mean, yes, I agree. I agree, Aid, 100%.
That's the only excuse I can find for them. Right. Apathy.
Whether you agree with my approach or not, let me provide you with some of the links of the research like I came up with. But once again, if you want to, on, let's say any one of these, I've been diving into this topic for some time now. I went over Frankenskies. We could go back even further. Oh yeah, before I walked through Janet. I gave a lot of plugs through you as I went through that series. But right awesome. Here, to your point, contrail, chemtrail, right? Showing the distinction. So there's a lot there, but probably even more powerful are these recent ones. Once again, this one I kind of dropped, or
that one there, the blue one, the second that one there, yeah. That's what I would see out the gym window every single morning. The top one would be 6 o'clock in the morning, and then the bottom image will be probably around 7:30, maybe 8:30 by the time I leave the gym.
Yeah, that's the image right there that I try to tell folks, like, hey guys, irregardless, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter whether it's spray or not, but let's just humor. This is a contrail, okay? Let's just say this is a contrail. It's not spray. Irregardless, look at the impact it's having. It's not an acceptable outcome. Period.
It's not natural.
Let's just get the bans in place and give them smog and emission controls that don't blanket our sky, okay? Like, and that should be enough, right? So anyway, yeah, you would think. But if you want to replug any of these aid, because essentially, like in these last two, I, gave that little simple call to action to zero engineering, but then there's all the links to the ones I'm going to share with you here shortly, including the documentary Geoengineering Watch.
Cool.
But so I just sent you this one. This is actually, it has a breakdown by state. So I thought it started with Tennessee. No?
Americans for cleanatmosphere.com.
Yes. And right here. So there's bills and legislation already taking place. Dakota. So we need to just get behind this, and it's going through state by state. So
awesome.
It's all like, it just becomes, hey guys, this all wouldn't be taking place, all these different states, if it wasn't a mega issue. So now let me send you, do you have, zero engineering
else as well. If the good guys weren't in control, a lot of these companies would have been shut down by Google. Google would have shut this website down straight away, or delisted it.
That's a good point.
But when I did a search for it, it came up naturally. So I knew straight away that Google's not in control anymore.
Right. Wow.
They used to jump all over these kind of websites, saying this website is bullshit, it's telling you lies, and they would delist it, put it on page 60 or something like that. But the fact that I did a couple of searches and I managed to find it, showed that Google's not delisting it, which is a really, really good news. It shows that the good guys are in control and not the
it's a good
dark
point.
Forces.
That's a good point. So I just thought
same with RFK and what's his name, Mel Gibson. They would have been assassinated 10 years ago if Mel Gibson said what he said on Joe Rogan recently. If RFK had said what he said about vaccines, they would have been assassinated 10 years ago. So there's a big shift on Earth, and it's in our favor, we the people's favor, definitely.
That is a great point. I appreciate you bringing that up. Let's see. Monday. What time is it?
It is. Oh,
Monday.
It is. Oh, it's 8 o'clock in the not so United Kingdom.
Oh, cool. I got a gentleman. Okay, he's calling at 4. I got plenty of time. And then lastly, this is a page here I haven't personally dove into much, but Climate Viewers Maps, this might be the source where you're seeing all these individuals showing the weather patterns. Like, so we could even start researching for ourselves from fires, from the frequencies, this might be, a lot of satellite imagery, things like that.
Talking of frequencies, the good guys have taken over the internet. So literally within the next month or so, we're going to have Starlink internet, which is free of charge, and it's not going to be using Wi-Fi. So our bodies are not going to be, our DNA is not going to be destroyed with Wi-Fi frequencies. And
I have a Starlink right now, but I had to purchase the equipment, and then to activate it, it's like $150 a month I have the mobile one.
Wow.
But I have the studio. I'm at the house, so I'm running off the home's internet now. So I put a pause to the service, but when I travel and I activate that, that's a freaking $150 a month. Ouch.
Yeah, I always knew that I was going to wait until the EBS, because once we've got the EBS, we're going to be given a free mobile phone, a free laptop, which runs on the Starlink satellite system. It's the only way that our banking, it's the only way that we can use, what's the words I'm looking for? It's the only way that we can transact, do business in the new world. So if I wanted to send you $50,000, I could do that with my phone or my laptop, and it would only take 3 to 5 seconds to hit you. Now, the beauty of it is with the new banking system, QFS, Quantum Financial System, all of my money is in my phone. And if somebody steals my phone, they can't get that money, no matter how much is in. I could have billions in there, and the owner of that phone wouldn't be able to use my phone because it runs off biometrics. And we've cut out the banking system so that it's not going to take 5 days for you to receive that 50,000 that I've just sent you. What the banks used to do, I would send you $50,000 pounds. The bank would then convert it into dollars. They would take a slice of that for handling the handling fee sort of thing, but then they would hold that money and invest it in their short selling, short markets and stuff. They would use that 50,000 quid to buy and sell and this, that, and the other, and then they would send it on to James. That's why you used to receive it 3 to 5 days later. That has all been removed by the good guys. That illegal, bad banking practices of stealing money from the people,
criminal.
So that they can make money out before they send it on to the recipient. Yeah, all of that's been well, you've seen it. Wall Street's been taken over by the good guys. All of the big banks have been taken over by the good guys. Talking JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, all of the big boys, they've all been taken over by the good guys. They had to be taken over along with the Queen and the Vatican. All of those banks have been taken over. BIC, International Bank of Settlements, IMF, World Health Organization, all of the major banking institutions there, they've all been seized by the good guys, the alliance. And that's in every single nation, so that when the EBS kicks in and we've got our new phones and we've got our new laptops, that's when the banks will disappear. And we've got this beautiful world where I can't wait. I've got this massive humanitarian project for where I live.
Wow.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. And I can't wait. I'm really excited. But
we'll see what time, if I end up in the enlightened, hopeful state you're at.
You will be, because we're already here. Apparently, we're already here.
Right. But there is incredible things that I'm seeing with, like, above phones, things like that. I see that there's companies that, the main providers are going to be rendered worthless because there'll be new technologies rolled out that once it makes sense and it's a no-brainer, we'll use that and we'll gain full privacy again. I just can't wait.
I've been watching some movies, black and white movies, 1850, 1870, of these people using devices. They they can talk into a device, and somebody 50 miles away can actually hear it before telephones.
Oh my gosh.
And they've got this holographic screen, so you can actually see the woman that's talking on the. It's long before phones, and these flying devices back in 1850s using anti-gravity and shit. The technology that we've got is staggering. Is absolutely staggering. But the powers that be just wanted to keep us trapped on this little ball called Earth. So we're trapped on a ball. There's nothing else. From what I've been told, the universe is limitless. Our realm is limitless.
Right.
So we're not trapped on a ball. That's what I've been told anyway. I'd rather believe that we live in a limitless realm than a ball where we're trapped. That's my belief. I'm curious,
Ade. Have you seen, it sounds like you might have seen some of the same documentaries I have, like right here on Peters.com. This Old World Order?
Old World, yeah, all of those are on my channel.
Bro, yeah, they're all amazing. They're incredibly eye-opening. Do you have to agree with some of the paths they go down? No, but it goes to show that we have been so lied to. So much deceit into this life, and that in and of itself triggers proper discernment to just clear out all the brainwashing and not blindly entrust in anything. And it's so freeing. It's freeing. I know for some,
it's liberating, isn't it?
Yes, bro. I don't know if I've seen the final days yet. All these I've seen. Slave Nation.
Yeah, that's another good one.
Occupied. I'm anxiously awaiting the more heavier hitting, I guess, content from Occupied that they didn't feel impressed to share yet. What came to mind?
Outer space. What's your view of outer space? When you think of outer space, what do you think of? What springs to mind?
I haven't. There's a lot of deceit to the outer space type stuff, but I guess I've been so honed in on what I can figure out down here. I don't know. What's your train of thought? Like, what are you getting at with that?
Right. We live on.
What's open your eyes to? Yeah.
We live on land, Terra. Okay, and so I was thinking about outer space. What's the other space that we haven't explored? And I was thinking water and Q, which is something that I've been following since 2017. One of Q's main phrases is "watch the water," but Q never explained to us what they meant by "watch the water." So we Anons have been waiting for the day when the water is going to reveal what Q was talking about, and the only thing I can think of is outer space. Q never talked about aliens. That's a lie. We Anons did ask Q many years ago, about 2017, 2018, are we alone? And Q replied, no. Think the vastness of the universe. No, sorry. Q wasn't able to answer back then. It's 2017. Yeah, it was definitely 2017. Q wasn't able to answer back then because they didn't want to be. It didn't want to be seen as a freak nut job kind of information warfare tool.
Yes, there's strategy to when things come out. Yeah,
exactly. Okay. So 2017 wasn't the right time. The Q replied no. Sorry, are we alone? Q didn't reply. That was it. Q didn't reply. And then in 2018, 2019, then Q came up with the reply, no, we're not alone. And then I think to myself, the one place we haven't explored, if we can't get outside of this realm, if we are covered by a dome, which protects us from the waters above, as well as the waters below, and we haven't explored 90% of the ocean, what if our friends, our galactic friends and enemies come from the ocean? Because lots of war reports. I've been following lots of war reports since 1940s, 1930s actually, before just after the First World War, and war reports of ships coming out of the ocean, and the ancient Mayas, ancient cultures talking about ships coming out of the ocean. Ezekiel's wheel apparently came out of the ocean before it circled above Isaiah. I can't remember the character, but anyway, Ezekiel's wheel that came out of the ocean. And I was putting things together and thinking, well, there's one area we've not really explored, apart from billionaires who can, sink down thousands of fathoms to explore. But yeah, I've been going down
that's a fun path to go down. We need to have that sheer wonder again on all these things. As you're talking, I'm kind of wondering, okay, what's kept me from researching and diving more so into the space and the unknown depths, things of that nature?
Like you said, some things are more important.
That's just it. What I'm like, okay, there's actually a bigger wonder that I've been drawn towards, and it's more so because it's interesting. Like, why do I keep going to the gym? It's not vanity that keeps me going to the gym. It's every time I walk through those doors, I'm feeling, or let's fast forward. Every time I walk out those doors, I feel better than walking in. And that's what it is. And that's the same basically only explanation I have in exploring God. And there's more. So there's more value to the wonder for me there than there is the wonder and the vastness of space. And what's interesting is as I experience more of the wonder, under God, there's actually clarity and majesty and appreciation and gratitude that comes to the vastness of space and everything. Because it's really, we could sit there, we could spend a whole life, I feel, trying to be an expert scientist, space explorer type person, but you're barely gonna really gain any much understanding, where the understanding through God kind of just becomes gifted. It's not earned, it's not learned, it's more so gifted, the feelings. And so it's kind of like the gym. Every time I tap into that, there's an unexplainable truth I experience.
I felt so alive when I used to go to the gym.
That's what keeps me going back more so to God than space. It's almost like the vastness, the sheer vastness of it humbles me in a different sense of just like feeling stupid. More so with God, same thing, but there's a gift that actually is given in there where you gain peace with in like this. I don't know how to explain it. Just an understanding you really couldn't put into words, but you become at peace with it. You won't be with the space, this, kind of topic. There's, if anything, there's less peace with more, So there isn't like this miraculous gift, and that's where it's interesting. In this, we're such limited beings. We're not forever. We're all visiting here. So it just seems like a more worthy pursuit in that other aspect, because what does it matter? Okay, we figure things out space-wise. Like, it's just like, well, what are you really going to accomplish there? More so in the spiritual side, it's interesting. I like diving into more so the bells in different realms, like what you were touching on there, where versus aliens, I think that's just a perverted Hollywood version that has been very attractive to us in the green aliens. And we don't even know, like, as far as, let's say, the spiritual aspects, the demonic, even the angels that are depicted in Bibles, like how they may present themselves. They may present themselves through different, and then we kind of run with our own imagination of experiences. So I really feel that there's even, we're left in a very limited realm, a very limited dimensional realm, and limited understanding to where we can't even grasp what we're dealing with here. So we can't even fathom, let's say, the God realm. I feel so many more dimensions to that. Our brains would pop. We can't even fathom. You know what I'm saying?
I heard something else earlier that spun my head a little bit, because like I said, I'm not a believer in religion, but I do believe in God. I do believe there's a God spirit there that
I like that.
that I talk to every day since I was born. So I do believe in God. And what was it? That was it.
Well, that was
Constantine. Richard Constantine, his name was. He is a god from the outer worlds. He sent Jesus to the inner world, to our world, to be a personified God in our realm. So the story goes that Jesus was sent by Constantine into our realm from beyond the ice wall. That's a story I'm going to go into at a later stage. But I'm one of those people that wants to, when I learn something new, I want to learn as much as I can, as quickly as I can, but with the limited time that I've got, because during the day I'm uploading videos and I'm searching for more material, and I'm trying to keep the Fall of the Cabal series on the right trajectory and the right path without polluting people's minds, without giving them my opinions. I'm trying to be as honest as I can be with the channel. And it's very difficult to learn what I want to learn with the limited amount of time that we've got.
right.
We've got shitloads of time, in fact. We've got our future. So we've got shitloads of time. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I've got this in my head that even though I want to learn as much as possible, I just feel I haven't got the time. I've got to stay committed to what I've been doing with the Fall of the Cabal series. And leave these other interests to one side, like aliens and spirit beings and angels and demons and God and things. Yeah, just leave those for the time when the good guys, if there are such a thing as good guys, because even I don't know if this is true, good guys, bad guys, black hats, white hats, Q. Even I don't know if it's true, but I've been following it, and this is where it's led me to today. But yeah, even though I've got a billion interests, I've got to stay focused, stay on the mission. Otherwise, you get distracted, and the message gets lost down the road. But this tool is massive. It's a huge, massive tool. If I can find some way of, I don't know, pushing it.
See, that's just it. Okay, we could brainstorm over that, because everything you just said, it's crazy. Like, even Christians may be like, okay, well, where's this other Jesus guy coming from? And you what sources? And they may even go into it on trying to disprove it because it's challenging their belief. And I just find, hey, everyone's path is uniquely theirs.
Yeah.
And what I love most about you, ADE, here is how thirsty you are, how you're trying to just be intentional and just basically opening people's minds, like break out of the box, because that's what's going to free ourselves. But to circle back to what you were just talking on there, that's what's important on our interaction, is how can we maximize the tools we've come across? Because in my eyes, the more we can effectively take out these toxins that are obviously intentionally being done to diminish our resilience, then I believe it'll be easier naturally for us just to break free of the cages we've been put in, and more so come to the conclusions. I do believe with all this secrecy, all this rewriting of history, all these mega questions, that actually is what's forcing evil's hands, these evil doers in my eyes, to ramp up these type of experiments, because they need to reel it back in within their control. In the sheer world population, they're trying to even indoctrinate us that we're over exceeding the world's, let's say, ability to support life. Once again, that's just I believe, a nefarious programming tactic to get even good-hearted people on board to kind of fulfill their genocidal plan without, like, anywhere they can minimize that type of resistance, because
it's possible.
because in my eyes, it's just the sheer vastness of the information age with the population. They tried controlling all the narratives and censoring. They've lost control of that to a degree that threatens their very reign. The power that they've amassed in today's world, in today's climate, in today's society. So it is amazing and hopeful to, I mean, I don't know either, truly, I with this administration and stuff as to how maybe tied in they are to Q talk or white hat theology. I don't know, but it's hopeful. That's where I just try to stay more so than wishful thinking. I'm challenging myself on this, and it's easier said than done, believe you me. But hone back into like more so realistic. I actually have notes from a gentleman, more than realistic, practical thinking. Because if I were to kind of dumb that down, wishful is more so equalized burning my tires. Like I'm not gaining momentum or traction, and practical equals impact. Like there's a big difference, and I want to be realistic with myself as to the limitations I have, the sphere of influence, what I could do. It's all about having the most positive, beneficial impact, which now it's like, okay, it's fun to be the wishful thinking and whatnot, but like come back more so to proper momentum. It's hard for me to even put into words, to be honest, but it's an exciting time. Nonetheless, I'm very hopeful, and it can be challenging because even trying to be intentionally impactful, things of that nature, just there's certain levels where people aren't, like, you can't help individuals, and this is the frustration, you can't help individuals that don't want to help themselves.
Yeah, if they don't want to listen, they don't want to learn, you can't.
So back on topic, like I do find this is a very powerful tool. I'm excited to reach out to them, try to gain some type of vetting where I feel that much more comfortable. Like, yes, they can verify. Yes, the whole reason we did the webpage and structure the way we have is because we want to fulfill that missing link.
Brilliant. If you do manage to get a feedback from that company, ping me the details. I'm really keen to know what they say.
And then, yes, 100% will. And then we really, I mean, I don't see a reason why not to go full bore, because this is the very ones that are a part of the dimming. So why would they create that content and then create the solution if they're truly not, their intentions aren't to create the solution, right? So I feel that
it definitely looks like a tool to bring awareness to we the people. Definitely looks like that kind of tool. And I think if you use it in connection with or in conjunction with Patriot Finder, which is more suitable for you because the majority of patriots are in the US.
I'm going to check that out.
According to that website. It's made by Paul Tenner of Tenner Talk, if you're familiar with Tenner Talk. There he is. There's Tenner, Paul Tenner.
View this email in your browser. So there's a patriotfinder.earth. Is there, can I click that link? Oh, it's a picture. Handsome man. There's got to be, I want to check out.
He promotes stuff a lot. He's a musician, so he promotes his music a lot.
So Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube. Cool. I will definitely try utilizing. Yeah, I appreciate that tool, ADE. It's so important to help up the organization on our end. Is absolutely crucial. I don't see any reason to hold off and pump the brakes on getting the information out. I do view this, in conjunction with the actual content they've created, with, that documentary and everything. So I do believe this is intentionally fulfilling that missing link. But so let's not pump the brakes. Let's do what we can to figure out how to get this out there, be most impactful and effective in that regard. But to your point, as I reach out, if I gain any other, let's say, comforting information or any information, I will be sharing that with you. I just don't want us to feel like we'll hold off till that comes forward. I feel there's enough intention in the right area with this webpage that I think we should take this serious and go full bore with it. So I would like to say for you, as you find going through this or sharing this, if you find effective ways, impactful ways in getting this out there, share that with me too, because
definitely. I'm going to be spending some time tomorrow. I've already made a note that tomorrow, Tuesday, I'll be spending some time on the website and navigating and working out, getting some ideas of how this could be presented in such an impactful way that it becomes practical, a tool that's practical and usable.
Yes.
That people go, it's a go-to tool that, yeah, I will spend some time on thinking of ideas of how to present it.
Man, it's so good. There's such a wealth of information here.
It's huge, absolutely huge. Like I said, I spent a few days trying to get my head around it, and it's just a go-to tool. It's just fucking fantastic.
It's so exciting. I mean, man,
I don't know why I'm struggling trying to find a way of presenting it. It's just fucking fantastic.
well, to even start practicing with our loved ones, our friends, and coming, like, the art of communication, how to present it. That's where we really don't need them to believe that they're spraying us to take this serious and take this action. Like, it would be ideal.
We need to focus on all of the bills. All of the bills that you showed me on page 1, for instance. You showed me this bill, that bill, that bill. If they're all being put forward, like you said, if these organizations are taking it this seriously,
right,
there has to be a reason behind it.
100%. Yes.
That's the way we've got to approach it. If these organizations are taking it this seriously, then we should be taking it seriously as well.
Right here, past. You know what's interesting? What's interesting? I've had individuals reach out, and I've reached out to them in Tennessee, like, hey, be my eyes there. Is this still taking place? The sad fact is, ADE, even after this is passed, they're still getting the streaks in the sky. Well, why? How could that be? Well, just because it's passed doesn't mean it's not going to still. This is what I do. This is a great step in the right direction. That
it's not like switching the lights off. It's going to take a long time for the lights to go off. Even though you switched it off, it's going to take a long time to get through the system.
Well, as I looked into this, there's not any teeth to the bill that was passed in Tennessee, meaning it is only a misdemeanor offense. It doesn't even involve prison, and it's like a slap on the wrist fine, like under $10,000. So $1 billion operation and some, which, because they discussed in their presentations that this is a really cheap method. It's going to cost billions, but it's a really cheap method.
Yeah.
And you know, that one gentleman that has all the presentations, like, it's crazy that people can't connect that it's actually being done. But anyway, I digress. There's no teeth. However, when you look at these bills from other states, they actually have teeth where it's a felony offense. It's a $500,000 fine per occurrence. Now what they create in passing a bill like that, there's incentivization, or however you say it. You are now creating for the military or the governor or even the population to be incentivized on reporting it.
Yeah.
Or even, you know, now grounding planes that are caught doing it, actually real investigation, because when there's that type of, you can now, there's enough teeth that there will be actual outcomes. So I'm grateful for what Tennessee did, but it's clearly not the solution we need. So to get these ones through with the $500,000 fine and felony charges, that I believe now you'll see stop eventually spraying from being stopped.
Yeah,
right.
There's something else we have to take into consideration as well. If the Earth is undergoing a military operation to clean up filth on the planet, and if the Space Force is leading the charge in this military operation, they have to let certain things play out so that they can catch the criminals in the act. So you have to let the burglar enter the bank before you can go and arrest him or her. I think from what I've been told, Space Force and the White Hats, the good guys, have been allowing these pricks to commit their crimes, like the continuation of spraying after they've been warned several times by Congress, after a law's been passed and they're still doing it. yeah, I think we have to take.
I agree.
The military into consideration when certain things don't happen instantly, like they're still spraying the skies, even though I believe the White Hats are in control. Why are they still spraying the skies? That's the only thing I can think of. They have to allow the bastards to commit their crimes. It's horrible to say this, because why would the military allow such evil to be perpetrated against their own people? And the only thing I can think of in response to that kind of question is there are casualties in any kind of war.
Yes.
It's horrible. It's horrible saying that.
Well, you bring up a good point. Like, there's all these egregious, unacceptable outcomes that keep taking place, but there's been the fact of the matter is, we the people could fix that and not accept these outcomes, but we're accepting them. Like, what comes to mind is 2020, right? Like, it was clear, all the information was there, but there wasn't enough people willing to wake up, be like, oh, okay, nope, and fix it ourselves. Sift through, because if we sifted through, because it's like Trump, and it seems like his team, yes, they pushed it as far as they could. They called it a sham. They called it everything. They did all they could, but unless the people were willing to really get behind it, it was like, we can't, at the point we force and take drastic measures, how are we any different than our oppressors?
Thank you.
We have to sit back. If the people want to address it, they will address it. So in a way, we haven't been awakened enough. We haven't taken our roles serious enough. So there's no other way. And my concern is, with the diminishing of our health, if that obviously doesn't, continues and we can't address that, then I believe we are at a point where, unlike other wars ever before, we may not properly revolt to an oppressor or tyrannical state in individuals or governments, that we will accept the cage we get put in and not have the health to ever. So that's where I'm like, man, we're at this tipping point, and the eerie silence with this administration that they clearly feared in years past. I wonder, is there a level of them caving with this eerie silence, or is it that they really don't see this new administration as a threat, because they're effectively rolling out their other plan on dumbing down the planet, where it's gonna, like, they know that outcome is gonna lead to not the proper awakening or the pressures of the revolt. So it's just like, man, we're on this knife's edge. It's very exciting. Like, I want to shoulder the world's burdens and help say, but it's not my job, and that's not being realistic. That's wishful thinking. So get back to practicality and what we can do, and just being excited and doing what you can. Like, what else is there?
When we first met, I was constantly going on about the good guys have won. We've won the war. Everything. Stop panicking. Stop. Yeah, well, I've had a fucking shock ever since then. I've been reading out reports to my audience, the audience. And one of the reports was about my hero, DJT, Donald J. Trump. Turns out he's a Rothschild. Turns out he could be, possibly, according to Space Force, he could be a Rothschild, Michael Rothschild.
So you had to awaken.
that slapped me in the face, because I had to read it to the audience, and that video got attacked big time. You're supposed to be a fan of. I'm a fan of the truth.
Yes.
Some things that even that I'm reading are going to shock me. So don't attack me. Don't attack the messenger, I said. But yeah, certain things are going to shock me, and this story did shock me. It shocked the living daylights out of me.
Wow.
But, he was possibly one of those filthy people, and they used him because he possibly is a Mossad installed. Oh, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a super spy.
Yeah, not an agent. I know what you're talking about.
He's a Mossad, allegedly, he's a Mossad agent, and he's also very naughty and dirty as well. Allegedly.
You follow money, you follow some of the facts we can talk about, and the fact that there's that lady that's tied to APAC and all of that circus. What does $100 million towards an individual gain? Right, $100 million from one individual given to him and his campaign. It's like, that's interesting, because that individual is very alarming. Now, he may potentially take that money and, give them the bird futuristically. Maybe there's no favors. I don't know. I want to stay a bit optimistic as to
what got me with this particular story, though, is because I was able to connect some dots within the Trump family. Ivanka being married to Jared Kushner, right? And he's one of those. He's one of those people that's on that list.
All tied to that list. Yeah, 100%. Well, right there in the Bible, if you went to Revelation,
Jared Kushner owns 666 something Street. 666 something Street in New York. Oh, what's it called, ADE? Jared Kushner bought the building.
It's Rothschild Boulevard in Tel Aviv. Rothschild Boulevard.
Is it?
Yes, Rothschild Boulevard in Tel Aviv. Tells you kind of who's running the circus over in Israel, right?
Wow.
But it's interesting, because that is the one topic that Christians have been also indoctrinated when we have
all religions.
All religions. And this is where Jesus and this, it's powerful, Aid, because he doesn't say it once. He repeats it in Revelation chapter 2, verse 9 and chapter 3, verse 9. And if you don't mind,
I don't mind. No.
Okay. 2 verse 9, quote from Jesus himself. I know about your suffering and your poverty, but you are rich. I know the blasphemy of those opposing you. They say they are Jews, but they are not, because their synagogue belongs to Satan.
Yes.
So that's why I've been greatly alarmed, and I'm so glad to hear. And it takes a real man to
be like about the stories of the synagogues in New York.
Yeah, a whole bunch. There's literally, you could see
all synagogues,
devil worship all across the globe.
Apparently, yeah, all synagogues, all of them, apparently, allegedly.
And this is where it starts to make sense when you see agents such as Jeffrey Epstein and the egregious outcome when you take down the most prolific pedophile ever known to man, yet none of his clients go down. It goes to show you the clientele are in the most powerful seats of, power in this world we live in.
Consider this for a second, that when the Epstein list hit mainstream media, just imagine that you had the control, you had the power to monitor every single creature on Earth and watch their behavior as soon as the Epstein list was released. You could see the behavioral patterns of every single individual changing instantly on your computer screens as soon as the Epstein list was released. And what if they were monitoring all of those individuals from that date that the Epstein list was released to we the people until today? They've got a shit ton of evidence of all of the activities and movements of all of those people.
All of it.
All of their transactions and where they all lead to.
Video, communication, it's all that.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing what. So when Donald Trump said, we have it all, we caught them all, right. He literally meant it. But
that's why I didn't want to.
He was speaking from an actor's perspective. The good guys have got something like 2,000 actors, probably more, 20,000 actors across Earth to fulfill all of these positions of prime ministers and presidents and actors and actresses, etc. They've got about 20,000. I think I got the number wrong. Something like 20,000 actors earthwide for this operation to take down the filthy evil bastards. I've been told.
See, this is where, reflecting back on some of our conversations, I don't even want to say we ever went different ways. We never went different ways. You just were on a path. I was on a path. I saw the good, the positive, the impact you were having irregardless. And that's amazing. And I'll even humbly admit, even in this moment, there's a continuum. I'm not entirely getting it even at this point, but you were filled and I loved it. There was an attraction to the hopium you were talking about, like everything's all good. But I also could see to an extent, like, hey, that could lead an individual to kicking their feet up on the sofa, like Q would say, and sit back and enjoy the show. And there was an aspect that scared me to that, where I was like, hey, we're not to entirely erase as to the impact we could have, the role, the responsibility we could have, because like, once again, it's kind of just that phrase, no one's riding in a white horse and whatever. I really hope there's bigger organization to it that's fighting for us and our side and for God. But there's still a role and responsibility. If we actually loved our loved ones, then we would stop projecting and more so fulfill that responsibility we have. But even on a sense of freedom isn't free. It's not free. So there's sacrifice needed to be done to maintain that freedom. And we can see all the infringements happening. And that's where I would before kind of challenge and bring up some ideas like, hey, ADE, if the white hats were where, you're kind of projecting they are, then I wouldn't see the open borders, right? I wouldn't see the oppression on our freedom of speech, where legislation, the anti-Semitism wouldn't be gaining momentum, but it's gaining momentum. And that infringement on our speech alone is hindering freedom. We could have freedoms, but we're not entirely free with any level of censorship. Like, freedom is crucial. There's a reason why our founding fathers left their oppressors and actually got it to where our number one constitutional right was free speech. Well, that's going away. So, and then also the momentum they're gaining on the attacks of our body. We could look at the planned scamdemic, right? But also the ramping up of sprays, things of that nature, the centralization of our food, the unacceptable levels of particles in our water itself, the frequencies as well. We need the proper data. Why are we sending trillions of dollars to these wars, instigating these wars, potentially poking the bear to nuclear war? Like, that's insane. When we could be deploying scientists locally to gather
there's your answer. There's your answer to your question. You just said it all. Everything that you've just said is the military's way of waking everybody up.
Right.
So why are we sending billions to Ukraine when we've got loads of homeless people on the streets in London?
Yes.
That pissed me off.
Address our own.
It pissed you off.
Wow.
It pissed you off. It pissed you off that the fires in LA are burning houses down but no trees. It's pissing you off. And it's pissing me off as well that houses are burning down but no trees. It's pissing me off. So there's two people.
It triggers the awakening.
There you go. This is it's all done purposely.
Right.
As another phrase that the military always says, Q always says, military is the only way. That's another one of Q's favorite mantras or slogans. The military is the only way. It had to be done this way. So, yeah, we've been forced into recognizing these injustices and crimes perpetrated by our so-called elite leaders who we allegedly voted for. We find out subsequently that they were selected, not elected. And so that pissed me off as well. And it pissed you off. And there's this that pissed me off. And there's that pissed you off. And all of these piss-offs has brought us to this point today where we're saying, well, nothing's being done. Well, it clearly fucking is, because both me and you are pissed off right now.
So let's actually hone in and unpack that. So there's tactics that are being done to the awakening. So my question, let's get personal. I'm looking right in the camera. I'm getting freaking personal and ridiculous, but it's important because my question is to the people: how much worse does it have to get before we take our own lives, our own health, our own sovereignty, our own God, our freedom serious enough to address this and live as a free people? Bring light and life and opportunity back to all of us, because once again, mortal men aren't going to become our saviors. It's we the people. It's always been we the people. It is still hinging on we the people. So
well, Q always said that the Q always needed at least 80% of the world's population to have their eyes opened.
It's either 80%. I mean, we don't know where the
It's above
percentage
80%
really
now. It's
lie.
above 80% according
It's
to
either
the
80%.
guys.
It's either 80% that aren't active, but they're not willing to obey, right? That's huge. Or we could achieve a lower percentage, maybe 20%, if they're action based, if they're more responsive and plugged in. We could do it with a lower percentage, but there takes more involvement, right? I mean, in times past, like kings, queens, all of that, they actually talk about a real low population. From anywhere from 3% to 10% is all it takes to basically overthrow a tyrannical, oppressive infrastructure of the general population. It's actually quite low. But that would mean, dating back to those times, there's that many willing to pick up their pitchforks and their torches and storm the dang castle. That is pretty serious engagement, to where people are willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice to live free people, like a William Wallace type character. And we need more of that.
Apparently, the 15th is supposed to be a very interesting date. 2 days, Wednesday, yeah. That's supposed to be an interesting date. And April, today, sorry.
You're good.
Today is supposed to be April, the beginning of the year, on the Julian calendar. No, I'm getting this all wrong.
Okay.
Let's stick with the 15th. Yeah, there's something really important supposed to be happening on the 15th. We're supposed to be returning to the Julian calendar at some point this year. April's the beginning of the year. Things are lining up towards something happening on the 15th. Obviously, we've got the 20th, the inauguration. He wants to do something on the 19th as well, the day before the inauguration, which I think is odd. It's a bit risky, but that's a different subject for a different time. I uploaded the 107 documentary about that, actually, about how strange it is. Yeah, but he's going to do something before the inauguration, the day before. That's it. He's doing a rally the day before the inauguration. But the 15th is supposed to be a really interesting date, this Wednesday. So I've got my eyes open on that one. But yeah, back to my positivity when it comes to we have won this war, this spiritual war between good and evil. I still believe we've won the war. We've won the battle. We've just got to see the results being played out by the good guys, all of the militaries across Earth, not just America. America were the top of the pyramid, as it were, because they had the right to bear arms. All other nations had their rights to bear arms taken away from them. Australia had their rights to bear arms taken away back in mid-80s, I think it was. Britain never had the right to bear arms, but we've recently found out that we can actually go and buy a gun, and I don't need to have it licensed. Wow. Don't need to have it licensed in Britain. Okay. Don't need to have a license, because it's like having a I don't know, a bow and arrow. I didn't need a license for that. Great. So why do I need it for a gun?
Wow.
Yeah, people are picking that up in the UK. But
you say the military. I just want to tie in the military. Instead of thinking an outside force, people need to absorb that you are the military. It's talking about everyone on the.
I started calling myself a guardian when I do posts. I post as a guardian, because ever since I started speaking to Pascal Najadi and what's his name, Daniel from Space Force, I started referring to myself as a guardian. If you're interested in, if your only focus is the truth, and your quest is to share truth to the best of your knowledge with people that you don't even know, everybody's a guardian, I reckon, a soldier, part of the military. So everybody should take up arms in one way, shape, or form, whether it's video, being a spokesperson, getting up on stage, or doing something in your local community. Everybody's a soldier. Everybody's a guardian.
Tap into their own unique gifts, right?
Yeah. USP, your unique selling proposition.
Ooh, I like it.
I wrote a book on that.
Oh, did you?
Well, it wasn't a book. It was notes when I was trying to create my own business.
Get it published. Get it published. Find one.
And my USP, my unique selling proposition, basically just write down all of the people that you know in your immediate circle, and then write down everybody that they know in their immediate circles, and just draw the dots and join them up, and you'll find so many connections from you to all of those people. You'll be able to sell them something. You'll be able to sell something of you to at least one of those people, whether it's exercise or Lyme disease or something, another topic that you might be fully aware of. You'll be able to tap into any one of those people in that circle. Your unique selling proposition, I've got it there. I can see it actually. I don't want to dig it out because it's got some really powerful notes, and it's from 30 odd years ago, and sometimes I read it, but you have got unique selling proposition, and it's powerful for everybody. Even you might think somebody hates you, but you'll still have a unique selling proposition for that person.
Right.
Well, it's so powerful once you get into it.
You're right. You know, just on a recent discussion, it was like, we often discredit the actual power we all have. And we like to fantasize over Superman with superhuman strength, can fly.
I need this.
Out of his eyes.
I've got to have this. I've got to have that.
Even if that existed, he's only having he's limited to one particular time and space. So he could only do that superhuman strength and saving a singular jet from the sky, which they've already projected. But we have a forever power with the impact we could have with all our interactions, a smile on our face, because think about even the butterfly impact it could have throughout generations. Who's to say you could live on through a smile interaction today that lives to the end of time? Like that's cool. You could shift a whole and very impactful. That's where it's like, wow, I need to watch my energy, my tongue, and I step in it because I'm man, I'm mortal, I'm flawed, and I get discouraged. And that's where, when you were bringing up future dates, things that nature aid, I am hopeful. This is such a beautiful interaction, and just the sheer wonder and consideration and what we could do and being practical. Just these are the discussions I feel everyone needs to be having. I'm very optimistic.
I owe you and me an apology because I don't usually go by dates. I hate them. I hate them because when they come and they go, you look like a fucking idiot. You look like a proper fool. So I try my best not to use dates, but this one's really important. For some reason, I can't remember what it was. I wish I never brought it up, actually. Dude, this Wednesday is going to be really important, really interesting. That was it, the QFS, Quantum Financial System.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have a crystal ball. We can't say definitively. We could look at the indicators, look at the markers, but what I could say confidently, this next year,
you can go to quantum.gov and find all of this information about the quantum financial system. It's already in place. It's already been set up. And the old monetary system, the fiat monetary system called SWIFT, has been replaced by QFS. So it's no longer going to take 3 to 5 days to get to you. It's going to take 5 seconds.
Wow.
So that's, quantum.gov. If you want to learn more about the QFS, I'd go there. Quantum.gov. It talks about the principle of introducing a blockchain technology where you can send money across Earth within seconds. There we go. Yeah. And it then goes on to talking about payment systems between different countries. BRICS are adopting the QFS right now. The BRICS nations are testing out this new financial system that I've been going on about since we met. But they're testing it out. They're stress testing it, and apparently it's mind blowing. Even the cabal have tried to hack this.
Really?
And basically the system is so fucking great. It's so fantastic that it identifies who's trying to attack them, and then it attacks their servers.
Wow.
So their servers go down, and then the military moves in within seconds and arrests everybody. Apparently, some 250 banks tried stealing money from the quantum financial system. They all had their assets seized and all arrested and thrown in prison. 250 banks. I don't know how many people that amounts to.
Really?
That's over a space of what, 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
So there's a good couple of thousand people in there being arrested and had their assets seized. But
there's so much to dive into.
I wouldn't really, if you wanted a general overview about the quantum financial system, I wouldn't go to this website.
All those accountants out there, all those investors. I mean, this is probably would speak to obviously other individuals that, let's say, have assets to liquidate. You know? I just haven't been in the means to do my due diligence.
While this is still fresh in my head, congratulations if you still got Bitcoin, but still keep your eye on that drop. As soon as it starts to drop, I'm begging you, please sell. But it's great news that if you've still got Bitcoin, it's fucking great news.
Yes, I got some still.
But
it's such a personal basis. And, you know, it'd be one thing if this was 100%. And I know there's people that 100% are diving into these things and they are picking up the industry and markers to, you know, red flags, green lights, things that you're doing really good by themselves, or let's say other individuals. So many people just like, that's why I can't even fancy an expert in anything. I'm just a baby Christian. I'm just a defective man, but I'm trying to hone in on and see the vastness and what we can do and be practical. So
this quantum financial system is best to let the military just explain it all, I think, because when the EBS kicks in, that's it. Wednesday. Thank you, Adrian. There's a belief the EBS could be this coming Wednesday, 10 days before the inauguration. No, that's
cool.
But it's my belief that we're going to get the EBS on Wednesday onwards, and the EBS is going to explain all of the crimes that all of the filthy people on earth have been committing against we the people, whether it be pedophilia, the banking institutions, education, health industry. Hospitals are going to be wiped off the face of the earth, apparently, because they're a killing machine. My mum's evidence of this. Every time she went into hospital for a routine checkup, she'd end up staying there for 3 or 4 days because she caught pneumonia. How do you catch pneumonia in a hospital? And she caught it 3 times.
Wow.
It's a killing machine. And when my mum died, it was during the COVID thing, so we had to do the COVID bollocks. Mum had to stay on her own in this room. We couldn't see her for 3 days. They were doing anything to her. And then on day 3, when we went back to see her, her health had deteriorated. And then they said, oh, she's coming to the end of life. It's time to start preparing for end of life. And me and my brother were like, what? She only went in for a routine checkup on her gallstones, and now she's caught pneumonia. And now she's about to die. And then, a couple of days later, she died. And
I didn't know that about your mom, Aid. I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, at the time, it wasn't really.
It wasn't known. It wasn't understood. She literally, in my eyes, with what I've done,
I was focusing on
war.
I was focusing on the war that I was having with Satan, and I was really passionate about the Fall of the Cabal series, and I was really passionate about my quest to learn more before I start projecting what I believe to be lies. I threw myself into the Fall of the Cabal series and uploading lots of videos, and I tried my best to not think that the hospital are a criminal organization. It was making me angry. So angry that I was thinking all kinds of things. Anyway, it was just best for me to retreat into my keep doing what you're doing with the Fall of the Cabal and keep uploading your videos and try and stay focused and try not to let the devil
disturb your peace and deteriorate you to where you're ineffective, bro.
There you go. There you go.
And that's important for anyone as they're going along these, like, let's say, breaking out of your cage. It's at times you're used to that cage. You felt secure. I'm not saying like get back in it, but that's where, man, that's more so the gift. One of the most profound gifts in my journey knowing God. He's given me the peace and clarity to where not only there's a shift to not only where other topics ended up, let's say, demoralizing, it shifted to where I could go back into those topics with excitement.
Yeah.
And now it's more so the only thing really deflating and disheartening isn't so much any of evil's tactics. It's like you gained the ability to come to terms with that, but it's harder to absorb the lack, because now you're gifted like this understanding to an extent, but then now having those conversations with the ones around you, some get it, some don't, and that's just it becomes very challenging in that aspect.
I think this is where the EBS is going to be important, because it's going to when the EBS hits everybody's mobile device or computer or TV or whatever, it's going to explain the last 8 years. It's going to explain all of the criminals, all of the crimes, how they've gotten away with it, how they've been caught, and what we intend to do in the future going forwards.
Emergency broadcasting system, I hope.
And it's going to teach us as well about the truth about our laws, common laws, not these made-up, fabricated maritime laws from the Queen and the Crown and this, where you've got to buy a license for this, you've got to buy a license for that, you've got to buy a license for this, you've got to buy a license for the license, tax, insurance, mandate for this, mandate for that, regulation for this, regulation for that. This is all the Queen's doing. This is all the Crown's doing. It's all laws, rules, and regulations, which are a load of bullshit. The EBS is going to teach us all about common law. If I don't cause you any harm, you don't cause me any harm, there's no crime being committed. Simple laws like that, God's laws.
Yeah.
If I see somebody in distress or in need or something, if I were to walk away, that's not a beautiful law. If I was to be empathetic and try and help, that's a beautiful law. So yeah, we're going to be taught about the correct laws and not these man-made bollocks laws that the Queen and the Crown made up that affects the whole planet. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that we, the Brits, should dictate how you should live in America on your soil. It don't make sense. It's equally, you shouldn't be Elon Musk. I love Elon Musk. I like the character Elon Musk, but I've got my reservations. All of these characters, they're all characters in this movie, and
he's acting more like an actor lately.
Yeah, isn't it just? But this is why certain things shock me, like DJT possibly being a bad guy. So even though I've got this really positive, optimistic view on the outcome of this spiritual war that we've been fighting between good and evil, even though I'm still positive, I still am aware that I'm going to be shocked somewhere along the line. Between now and inauguration time, we're going to see some major upsets, I think, especially the fans of DJT. But it's the outcome I'm looking forward to. Being able to walk into a beautiful new world, where we, the people, can create a new, beautiful future without all of the corruption and without all of the dirt and pollution that we've been seeing.
Yes. Get back to a level playing field, more normacy, kind of a utopia. I do believe if we start tapping into the positive fruitfulness of what we're capable of, we could delete world hunger. We could delete toxic water and just have more so a fair shake. But even then, if we clean the slate, there are Satan worshipers, right? That Satan's going to sour their hearts. We'll
delete the elite.
Delete the elite. Yeah. We can never get back to a place of such indoctrination where we can no longer have the discernment and distinctions between the evil and the good. So, brother, I don't know how you're feeling, but ultimately for me, that individual, by the way, just called earlier than I expected. So I'm going to have to pop off here shortly.
That's cool.
Back. But I so greatly value your input, your expertise. After all, you've been doing this on the front lines for longer than I. And it's just amazing to see people acquire the skills of being able, I even view it like a virtue, as to eating humble pie, you know, and just like, what, you know what, I think I got some things wrong. Like, and to be able to identify that and call that within ourselves, like we are more so like to not to eat.
Trust me, I've been so wrong so many times with this, with my belief system,
Me too.
with the white hats and Q. I've been so wrong. So I've been eating lots of humble pie, but it's a beautiful thing because it makes you better.
Yes,
makes you better.
You still had incredible, and all of us will still have incredible value to be bringing, even as we're being deceived potentially or getting some things wrong. Ultimately, but to nip off when there's a better path to take than the one we're continuing, if we stayed on that and our pride and ego wouldn't allow us to admit, that's still to our detriment and everyone else's. But then we find that cleaner path. It's just,
I still want to walk into a fire. Thank you.
Right. So, bro, this has been cool, and maybe we can discuss more after, but I truly feel good about even uploading this in its full content, even though we weren't planning. This was a discussion between you and I, but me personally, I have no problem throwing this up.
Yeah, I think I might do the same thing. Actually, it's a nothing burger, but it did have some. Saying that, no, I just did what I hate doing. I hate that lack of tooth. But anyway,
bro, you're good.
I got into a fight.
Got an awesome smile. Come on.
I got into a fight with some local.
Oh no, bro.
Yeah.
You're still a handsome man. There's no reason to be insecure about
I was victorious that. Anyway. I was victorious.
Were you?
Minus one tooth, yeah.
Yeah, you should see the other guy.
Yeah, it's nothing to boast about. But yeah, this was a really powerful.
I enjoyed it.
Even though I said it's a conversation, it wasn't. There was lots of interesting stuff in there. But yeah, I'm definitely going to upload this. I'm definitely going to dive into the website that you sent me as well. I'm spending the morning on that tomorrow, so I'll let you know if I find anything interesting.
It was my pleasure to ping pong a lot of ideas, a lot of chat. It was fun catching up, but most importantly, I mean, thank you for reaching out with your curiosity as to the findings and individuals clearly paving a way for us to address a mega issue. So we'll share more notes on that, and this isn't the last you're going to see of ADE. I mean, shoot, you kidding me? I look forward to more of this in the future. And
awesome.
Yeah, brother. I can't wait.
Until next time.
Until next time, brother.
Stay beautiful.
We are one with ADE, everyone. Love you guys. Yeah, that was not so much planned. I hope you enjoyed the chat. It's real chat, real talk. You're kind of seeing behind the scenes a lot of what takes place, just brainstorming, figuring things out. Challenge you to get involved. Reach out to unmuzzledchat@gmail.com. Love you.